good morning, good morning. This is Conversations with Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. How is everyone doing? Welcome back to another great episode of Conversations with Richardson. And today, I would like to welcome my very special guest, Miss Bunny Young. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
No, I cannot.
You can't? Let me
I cannot.
crank this up a little.
I was trying to do like the hand signal.
How about now?
Are we gonna fix that?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
That's better?
I know you got to do it all this morning, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
So how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing great.
Right.
All things considered.
So you don't know too much about my show, but I'm going to teach you today, all right?
I got.
All right. So introduce yourself to my listening audience.
Hello. For anyone who doesn't know, I am Chef Bunny. I am a chef, and I'm also the host of the Room with Chef Bunny here at WBOK 1230 AM. I'm sponsored by Blue Plate Mayonnaise, and my show airs on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. Tune in, listen. It's all about anything related to food and beverage in New Orleans. So
Right.
check me out.
Right. So you have an interesting story to tell because not only you're a chef, but you suffer with some, for lack of a better word, health issues in recent years. And
Yeah.
one of the health issues that you that we had talked about when we had set up to do the interview was Graves' disease.
Yes.
So talk to us about that.
We can talk about Graves' disease, of course. In my younger years, I remember when I had my first daughter, every doctor I ever had would look at me and tell me, your thyroid is really enlarged. You need to have it checked. You need to have it checked. So, of course, eventually I had it checked.
Right.
And I found out that I had thyroid disease at the time. It was thyroid disease.
Mhm.
And I found out that one of my uncles has it.
Mhm.
My dad had it, and it's pretty much hereditary.
Right.
Runs in our family. So what I had was hypothyroidism. My thyroid produces too much hormone. So what that means is my body, it's overactive. So it's why I'm thin. It's
Mhm.
why I have an overactive gland, and I have a lot of energy
Mhm.
because of it. It's like basically your thyroid is your body's thermostat. It
Okay.
regulates everything in your body.
Right.
So it regulates your feelings, like you're hot and cold, just like a thermostat.
Mhm.
Your moods, and a plethora of other things that it affects.
Mhm.
But throughout the years, I had it, but I didn't really have any symptoms or any problems with it. But I knew it, and I didn't take any medication.
Mhm.
The first doctor recommended that I did, but I was young
Right.
and I was stubborn, so I didn't take any medicine. But probably about maybe 10 years now,
Mhm.
I went into I just had a general checkup because I'm paranoid.
Yes.
Like I'm like always check me.
Mhm.
I may have cancer. Check me. I may have this. Just paranoid from
Right.
just viewing things in life. But
Right.
I went in and I had a thorough screening. Of course, it came back because all of my tests always come back about the thyroid.
Mhm.
But this time, it was enlarged, and this doctor began. Well, first I went to a specialist. I was referred to the specialist, and
Mhm.
she started to monitor my thyroid, and which is considered a goiter. I grew a goiter, so
Mhm.
every time I went to the doctor, she would have to measure and see how many inches or diameters it grew because it grows.
Mhm.
And she put me on medication at this point, but from then at that point, I started to notice that I had like issues, like just issues that there was no explanation for. And
Mhm.
so I started reading up more about what it was. And I noticed, oh, so this is why I'm having these things. This is why I have anxiety. This is why I'm probably excessively hot when it's not really that hot, or excessively cold
Really?
when it's not really cold,
Yeah.
because of all of these things and this hormone. Even though you take the medicine, but the goiter is still growing in the medicine. I took the medicine.
Mhm.
So, and she told me at the time, because I probably shouldn't say this, but I was a smoker. And she told me that I should quit because it turns your thyroid disease will turn into thyroid eye disease from smoking. Smoking contributes to that. So,
Really?
of
Okay.
course,
Yeah.
that I didn't have any fear at the time. I was still young.
Right.
But as time went on, and I followed up with her, she told me about the fear of Graves' disease. And eventually that's what happened. It developed into Graves' disease.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm a freak of nature,
Mhm.
and it turned into Graves' disease. But like I said, I always have my levels monitored, my hormone levels. It's a word for it. I forgot what she calls it,
Mhm.
but I have to have it measured to see where I stand. And it's like a spectrum and a scale where you're borderline Graves' disease, in Graves' disease, and just back to thyroid disease. So ever since then, because she explained to me how it could turn into thyroid cancer, thyroid eye disease, I've taken those precautions. So everything that I was told to do, I've done. I take the medication and everything else, but my levels have dropped from Graves' disease. So I'm not in Graves' disease anymore,
Right.
and I found that strange. I was like, I'm not really doing anything special, but what happened to me with Graves' disease was my weight. My weight yo-yoed so much, like losing weight. I looked like death walking, and people were like,
Mhm.
"What's the matter with you?"
Mhm.
And I got so tired of saying I have Graves' disease, and people like because it opened up Pandora's box, and it, it
Mm.
it initiated a larger conversation,
Right.
And but ironically, when I said that, because a lot of people do suffer from thyroid disease or
Mhm.
some type of thyroid disorder,
Right.
but they don't know about Graves' disease. So a lot of people did have thyroid disease. I didn't realize so many people suffer from thyroid disease and thyroid cancer because that was a big fear of mine. I know 3 people that had a thyroidectomy
Mhm.
and they got sicker or they died
Wow.
from it. Yeah, a lot of like the percentage of after having a thyroidectomy of dying is very very high. So that was always like a large fear of mine. Like I don't want it to progress to that. So I'm conscious of this. I have to do things,
The right way. Yeah.
a lifestyle change
Yeah.
basically, and then to understand it and cope with whatever you're dealing with. Because like I said, the weight loss for me was a nightmare. I have right now in my closet sizes from 2 to 8. Really, like literally, I
Wow.
refuse to throw it away because God knows I might be back that size again. Because it's like you don't get a read on it. You're eating and everything, but the thyroid is hyper. I'm hyperactive. Like I
Right.
have an abundance of energy, an abundance of serotonin. It's just like the thermostat is off.
You're all
So
over the place at times. One of the things that I wanted to touch on though is you and I can relate to this because you said when you tell people that you had or have Graves' disease, it opens up a Pandora's box, and then it leads to a bunch of other questions. When I first met you, uh, I don't even think we mentioned it, but I have cerebral palsy. So when I tell people I have cerebral palsy, it's like, well, what's that? And I'm like,
it's an educational moment at that point.
yeah, and I don't have. They look at you like you have all the answers, and I'm like, I only know what I deal with on a daily basis. I can't give you everything.
Right.
And it's the strangest thing because when you tell somebody that you have something, they just automatically think that you know everything about your condition and what you deal with. And I tell people it's a day-to-day thing.
Oh God, is it ever? It's day to day. And like I said, I know now people that I have high contact with. I know to preface it with, look, I have these issues, and it affects my moods. It affects, I'm
Exactly.
not just crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's not regulated because this is a thermostat and it's off. So I'll give them that grace and I'll explain that. But
Mhm.
you're right, you can't. We don't have all the answers because every situation is different. What I might experience with my because I know people who have my Graves' disease, who have thyroid eye disease, and who have just thyroid disease. One of my sisters, she has my cousin. She's like a sister to me. She has thyroid disease
Mhm.
too, but it's not as we don't suffer from the same symptoms.
Right.
So each case is different. So I first and foremost always consult your physician.
Yeah.
I can only share my experiences and stories
Right.
with you. But yeah, for everybody who always wonder why my weight yo-yo, yeah, I have Graves' disease. That is why.
Mhm.
Yes, you see me one week and I'm a 6, and then next week I'm a 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
It
I mean, some people would be okay with that symptom.
right. Right.
You can stay thin, but the downside is when I level off, then I'm back at it's like you're fighting on the other side of the spectrum. You don't want to gain too much weight,
Right.
so it's like you have to learn how to exist in what the circumstances you're in. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. Like I said, I tell people, this is a day-to-day thing. Uh, you know, everybody that has cerebral palsy, it affects them differently. I was blessed to have a very what I like to call mild case and able to lead a normal life, but I mean it's still noticeable. But I mean I still have my days where I'm in pain. Uh mental challenges as far as like, okay, just having to deal with the everyday woes of I gotta get up, I gotta come to work, I gotta mentally prepare myself to deal with what not only I'm dealing with, but what's ahead of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Because the older we get, that's just it's inevitable. You're gonna age.
Right.
Plus, like when you already have a condition, and just as a matter of aging, period. Like I said, they don't tell you these things.
Right.
This is another thing I suffer with. I suffer with arthritis. I'm very vocal about it. If you ever out with me and you want to dance, I can't. I have Arthur. I call it Arthur. So I didn't realize, I'm getting older. I just am. That's just what it is. So arthritis has consumed me. It's taken over my life.
Right.
And, especially working in the kitchen. It's like on my feet, my ankles. Like I have arthritis in literally every joint, my toes, my fingers, everywhere. Like I'm suffering right now, but you never know. I don't take medication because I don't want to do that. It's poison. But I take like ibuprofen, but it's something we don't talk about. Like it just was thrust upon me. I knew immediately, like years ago when I started feeling, I was like, this has to be arthritis because it was in my knees 1st.
Mhm.
Then I went to the doctor. I complained, and the doctor did an X-ray and showed me the beginning of it, and showed me this is the beginning, and like it's gonna. Now when we look at it, we can see how it's worsened.
How it's progressed.
But
Yeah.
that's a challenge. It's an added challenge in addition to everything else you have. So you think, like you said, you don't know what's ahead of you. You don't know because I do know this is degenerative and it's gonna get worse. It isn't gonna get better.
Right.
So you don't know what is in front of you. I know I manage right now. I have knee braces and but like I feel it. The older I get, I feel it. So I feel like you don't know what's ahead.
How do you manage being a chef, being on your feet all the time, and dealing with arthritis and the different conditions
it's
that you have?
it's becoming extremely hard. So now, but like I said, I'm good at thinking ahead.
Mhm.
So now I'm like, okay, I can't. I see now the back is hurt. I'm getting. I can't be in the kitchen like this,
Right.
like I was 35
Right.
anymore. So I
Right.
have to put all of my things in place where I can have a team come in and execute my vision, and I pursue other things that aren't as physically demanded because chefing is physically demand. Oh my God, like it is. And luckily, I do. I have an abundance of energy more than the average person. I know I move and I think and some people wonder, are you a robot? I wonder myself,
Right.
am I?
Right.
Like even in my sleep, it's like I'm still functioning even in my sleep. It's crazy. But with that said, it takes a toll on the body because I think it's my mental that drives me and the body has to catch up.
Hmm.
You know, you
Right.
know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
Like I'll
definitely.
go, go, go,
Yeah.
and then I'll get home or I'll stop. I don't even have to get on. I'll stop, and then it's like, whoa, like you
You have to
feel the
sit down.
toll of it.
Yeah.
So chefing is like I'm reaching, I'm bending, I'm stirring. It's good exercise, but
Mhm.
it is strenuous. Believe it or not, it's very strenuous. Lifting those big pots, everything is just it's labor, it's physical labor.
Knowing what I know about you and watching you on Facebook and just interacting with you here, the days that you're here and we see each other and we bump into each other, you would not think that you deal with everything that you're dealing with physically because you are in the streets. You hang
So
out.
what?
You are in the streets. You
Oh,
hang out and
I
you
know.
just
I
you,
told
you
you.
live your
People
life.
wonder if I'm a robot.
Right. 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 This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. And we also have Miss Chef Bunny in studio with us. Tell the people where they get in contact with you.
Oh, I'm on Instagram. My personal Instagram account is at honeybunny504. My business account is Eat Crawbabies Nola. That's on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Bunny Young, Young. That is my last name. I'm
Mhm.
even on TikTok. I don't use it that very often, but I'm there. And it is Crawbabies 007. Where else? Seven Ward, hard head.
You gonna keep me
So
laughing
that's
this
where
whole
you can find me. I'm not hard to find, and you can
yeah.
find me Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3 at Vaucressan's Creole Cafe, 1800 St. Bernard Avenue, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70116.
You gonna keep me laughing this whole show, huh?
What you
You
say?
gonna keep me laughing this whole show, huh?
Of course.
All
Of
right, man.
course. Of course.
And you
I
guys can
mean, I'm up early. You got me
yeah.
out here. Anything for you. But
Hey,
I don't have no coffee. So I'm kind of like winging it, y'all.
right, 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 man. course, man, you could find me on Facebook. Just search for the Ron Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald underscore Richardson underscore Junior on Instagram. You can find out everything that's going on with me in the world of radio, my beloved pit bull dog Queen at home, and what I cook when I feel like cooking.
You cook? Can you
Little,
turn that up a little bit for
little
me?
something. I'll turn you
I
up.
can hear you a little like talking in it, but turn it
Hold
up
up.
a little bit for me. You know, that's another
How
thing
about
too.
now?
The hearing goes, the vision goes. Look, let's talk about that. The
Uh-huh.
vision. Oh my God.
Right.
I went to the dollar store and I bought like 30 pairs of these. So the guy in line was like, that's what I need to do. You right. I said, look, I'm sick of looking for them. I don't need prescription strength, but I need readers.
Right.
I'm like, look, I'm sick of looking for them and having them with one arm because I don't invest in them. I buy the cheap ones because I lose them.
Right.
So I put them in the car. I put them at work. I put them at home. I put them everywhere. Literally because I can't see at all. I'm literally blind.
Uh-huh.
And I tell people that too. That's another part of aging. When I was younger, I would tease my mother because she didn't wear glasses, but when she got to be older, she would get readers, but they would be on the end of her nose.
Mhm.
And I would tell her, you look just like Mrs. Claus. She would always say, when you get older, you're gonna see.
Would she look down at you?
Huh?
Would she look down at
Yeah,
you?
you know, over the rim of the glasses, like Mrs. Claus. So I would tease her. So she would tell me, when you get older, you're gonna see. That day has come. I can't see. She said I will see, but I cannot see. I am blind as a bat. And I once had 20/20 vision. That, so it's a part of getting older. I don't mind getting older.
Mhm.
You just adjust, right? To any circumstances you have in life, especially if you're black. We definitely will adjust, right? So yeah.
So you're living your life and you're doing your thing. How did that affect you mentally when you first heard that you had these different conditions?
With the Graves' disease, I can remember this like yesterday. I left my mother, my kids, my sister. They all thought I was dying. Like it was like when I left and I told them I had Graves' disease, they were all like, "Oh, they made this pilgrimage." So the next doctor's visit, everybody was there and everybody was like, "Madison, what is?" Like I'm like, "It's just Graves' disease. It's manageable."
Mhm.
My mom, of course, she was like devastated. But to answer your question, everybody around me was far more affected by it than I was, First of all, I have faith. I have faith. God always has the final decision. And plus, if it's something that's fixable and you tell me what to do going forward, I'm gonna do that. So I just figured I'll go on and live with this like everything else in life. But they were very more concerned
Mhm.
than I was.
Right.
I was like, I mean, you follow me on Facebook. I was like, any other day, I'm gonna live every day like my last.
You have to. You have to. You have
That's
to.
my life's motto. In
Right.
case anybody had any doubts, that is it. I'm gonna live every day like my last.
You have to, because if you don't, it'll take over your life.
Right.
I had to learn, growing up, being born with cerebral palsy, that I had to accept whatever cards were dealt in my life, and I had to adjust. It was hard.
Do you have a support system?
My family,
Good.
my grandmother, God rest her soul. My mom. I have a big family. My mom has 4 brothers. She's the only girl. So everybody around me, still to this day, and I've said this on my show before, my uncles treat me like I'm the 6th brother or the 5th brother. You know
And
what
they
I'm saying?
coddle you.
Yeah. Not so much coddle me, but
Well, you know what I mean.
Right.
Love on you and dote on you.
yeah, they I mean, that's where we come from.
Right.
So
right.
it does help me get through my day-to-day issues, and they always made me feel like I was just one of the guys, which I am. And
You are.
Our friend Wick could tell you that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When I met you and I came in, I didn't know you had cerebral palsy. You had to tell me
Mhm.
verbally.
Mhm.
Like,
Right. Because I
Literally.
don't carry that around like woe is
That
me.
doesn't define
Right,
you.
right. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna put you on pause because we got to go out to our first break. All right.
All right.
This is if I can get my mouse going here. Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM. streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Hit us up, 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. I got my girl, Chef Bunny Young, in the building. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson. See you in a sec.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We're here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets, we've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow us at WBOK 1230 now.
Compassion Outreach of America is a nonprofit organization dedicated to fostering a safe, nurturing, and thriving environment for children and families in New Orleans. We have partnered with Fathers Matter, Kuzan's Barbecue, and Fathers on a Mission to bring you the second annual King of the Yard Cook-Off Saturday, September 6th at NOLA Motorsports Park. The King of the Yard Cook-Off is a culinary competition that celebrates culture, connection, and community. Local cooking teams will come together to showcase their talent and share their passion for food. This year's event will feature a father and son cook-off aimed at strengthening family bonds and teamwork. Compassion Outreach of America is looking for sponsors. By sponsoring this event, you are helping to build a stronger, more connected community. We look forward to partnering with you to make this year's event a success. It's the second annual King of the Yard Cook-Off Saturday, September 6th at NOLA Motorsports Park. Hope to see you guys there. For more information, go to CompassionOutreachOfAmerica.org.
Hey family, Ron Richardson here, host of Conversations with Ron Richardson. If you're looking for quality catering and barbecue, you need to contact my friends at Kuzan's Catering and Barbecue Team. Mr. Eddie Bunch and Kuzan's have been serving the West Bank since 2013 with their quality selection of barbecue and seafood. If you're looking for quality catering, be sure to contact Kuzan's Catering, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or you can go to Kuzan'sOnline.com for more information for all the services that they offer, or call 504-233-4227. Catering done the right way just for you. That's Kuzan's, baby.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK, online at WBOK1230.com.
It's the place where we can be open and honest about real-life issues. You're listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK and online at WBOK1230.com.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Hit us up, give us a call, drop us a line, 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. I got my girl in the building.
That's right. We
Chef.
taking calls today?
We can.
Oh, I'm fine. Let's do it.
It's your hour.
It's my hour.
We can do whatever we want. You know?
I would love to talk to anybody who want to talk to me.
Give us a call.
I mean, you know why we're here today. We're here to talk about, I guess, some of my health issues, and as well as, like I said, we talked about Graves' disease, of course, but in addendum to that, I want to talk about the trials and tribulations of aging, I guess.
Right.
And also, the older you get, how it is imperative to take your health seriously. Oftentimes in our communities, I think we take it for granted. I hear so many times, oh, I'm not going to the doctor. Or we have a fear of a doctor or something, but it's necessary. And I'm not pointing fingers, even myself.
Right.
I was just telling you how I have been dodging my colonoscopy. But these things are serious. You have to do it. There's no getting around it. Right. You know, I'm stubborn sometimes, and it's just, I have so many hang-ups. Like, yeah, I don't want to go into detail. It's a colonoscopy, but it has to be done. It's a preventative measure. You know, if you catch something in time, you can probably spare your life, prevent it, or extend your life. So we do have to take our health seriously and do a lot of testing. That's how I discovered that I had Graves' disease, from testing.
I think it's just, and this is my theory on it, I think it's just the uncertainty of going to the doctor.
It's a fear.
We don't know what they're gonna find.
Right.
You know, and the not taking shots at the medical field or the medical profession, but the medical profession at times has so many negative connotations around it. This is why.
And in relation to us.
Right.
The highest infant mortality rate amongst Black women. And we're always viewed as pain, as drug seekers when you're actually in pain. There's a stigma. Yeah, we don't get the same care that other groups get. That's true. That is true. But I know one thing. We still have to go and get those checkups and, you know, get a second opinion, shop around. And also, we have to keep telling each other and telling ourselves and those that don't know that you have a right. You have rights. You can speak up and you need to ask questions. Don't just let the doctor tell you X, Y, and Z without explaining it to you. And there's nothing wrong with saying, excuse me, I don't understand. Can you break that down in a manner which I understand? You know, you do. You have, because I know I'm firm with my doctors. I'm very firm.
Right.
Although I have a great doctor right now. I love her. She's amazing. Well, we have good dialogue amongst each other. But how I got her was that I had a doctor who wasn't, who didn't take me seriously. After the ER referred me to her, you know, she was supposed to be my new doctor. She was like, I can't help you. Go back to the ER. I was like, and she was so dismissive. And that happens a lot, too, to us in our community when we go to the doctors. But you have to keep fighting. Because I did, in that instance, I can share this with you. I complained, and I got her removed. So I got a great doctor out of the deal.
That's one of the things that I always touch on here on Conversations with Ryan Richardson. And just through my advocacy and my work, being differently able, you know, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to advocate for yourself.
And your health.
Right.
And your health.
And I have to be honest with you. If it wasn't for my family, you know, when I was younger, you know, telling me, hey, if something is wrong or if you feel that, you know, somebody's not doing right by you, speak up. You know, I wouldn't be in the position, you know, that I am in today. And one of the reasons why I started this show was because I wanted to speak for those who otherwise didn't have a voice, because a lot of differently able children and adults and people who deal with different type of addictions, they don't have a voice. They don't have anybody speaking for them.
You're right about that. And addiction is viewed in another manner amongst communities, because you see now how fentanyl is an epidemic.
It is.
Yet crack wasn't.
Right. So
we know we don't get the same sympathies and liberties as other groups do with addiction. It isn't viewed as a disease, and when it's in our community, it's not. But it is. It's a disease. That's why there are treatment facilities, because it's a disease. Addiction is a disease. You know, I've suffered from addiction. I've had many people in my family who've suffered from addiction. Everybody that knows anybody, you know somebody who suffered from addiction.
Yes.
And addiction covers all things, not just drugs. It's about gambling. You can be addicted to many things, but it is
Food.
it's a psychosis and a disease. So it needs to be treated. But we don't always get that same manner. We're usually incarcerated when we should be hospitalized. That happens oftentimes. We know the disparities, but that's why we must be vocal about our rights as a patient and as a person, because it's a humanity thing at this point. You know, everybody deserves grace for being sick, the same medical care.
Yeah.
You know, so there are disparities. I agree.
Yeah. So I want to switch gears here, and I want to get into your, I guess, culinary career.
My what?
Culinary career.
Oh, my culinary career?
What inspired you to get into culinary?
Okay, I'll tell my story. I was an accountant for 25 years.
Really?
Yes, really, I was. I
Oh.
was. But I grew up, I'm from the Seventh Ward. My grandmother was a cook, one of the best cooks that ever graced the face of the earth. And not saying that because she's my granny, but, my grandmother was a great cook, and she impressed upon me early on. I don't know why me, because she had 7 granddaughters before she had a grandson. So it was 7 girls. Upon me, she impressed upon me the most about cooking. Maybe she saw something in me, because I think about this a lot now. But I thought it was a punishment, having to pick greens, having a clean chicken, everything she was teaching me.
Yeah.
Now, today, I know she was teaching me a life skill, and I've turned it into a career. I don't know if she knew that part, but absolutely a life skill to survive. Because I know if it all fell down tomorrow and we were left with just grass, my grass would taste the best grass on the street. So it's a life skill.
Yes.
It is. It's a life skill. So
Yeah.
I always cooked, and, I went on with my life. My grandmother, I was like, she hates me. Why do I have to keep doing these things, shucking corn? And I was like, she hates me. And
Right.
defanging shrimp. But, eventually when I got married, I would always have to defer to my grandmother. I would call her. She would walk me over the phone with
Right.
red beans,
Right.
So she was always my mentor. But of course, this is New Orleans. You can't avoid it. I always had a love for food and a passion for food. So I was intrigued by food. So, and I was surrounded by great cooks. My aunt, my only aunt, I have 2 aunts. Both of those were amazing cooks. And they taught me how to cook. Like when everybody else was going outside, one of my aunts, I was very close with her. My auntie Rowena, I was very close with her. And I chose to stay inside and learn how to cook crawfish bisque and stuffed shrimp with her.
Right.
Because I was like, I wanted to learn how to cook. Well, she didn't teach it in the way my grandmother. It was like, my grandmother was like, I'm going to do a segment on this about how New Orleans, we don't talk about this enough, how they're food snobs. Like, it's like their standards. Like, they tell you do it, and if it's not to that, they give you, like, with the little, my grandmother was that way. My aunts, we don't talk about this enough. Creole cooks are very snobbish. Like, if it's not up to par or up to standard, they don't. So I spent my life trying to, like, please them. And, like,
Yep.
is it up to snuff? Is it up to par?
Right,
Did I
right.
do good enough? Because we are. Like, they look down, what kind of sausage you use? Those shrimp, they kind of small. So it is standard.
This is true, though.
But it did form
Yeah.
me into a great chef today. But so fast forward, I was married, like I said, and I cooked. And I just, like I said, I always cooked. Then I had children. I had no choice but to cook.
Right.
But I always like to be creative, and that's what my creative outlet is, cooking. So I burned out after 25 years of being an accountant. I hated it.
You hated it.
I just did it.
Yeah.
It's a job, but a career, but I hated it because of, again, I think I've always needed to be in something creative. I realized it later on in life, better late than never. But so I was like, I'm done with this. I need to get out of this accounting. What do? So I was like, well, I'm going to make myself a work from home job. I'm going to just sell pans of pastas, because they were picking up. People would ask me to make
Right.
a pan of pasta. I was like, oh, I could do this. I did the math in my head. If I sell them at this kind and I get at least 10 orders, I'm good. So that's what I thought I'd be doing. And then I saw that you could sell food on DoorDash and what is it, Uber Eats from the house. You just had to have your business set up. And I was like, oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Thought again, nice little work from home job. I
Right.
could stay under the radar. Well, it snowballed. I started doing pop-ups. That just one thing just led to another. And I guess it was just meant because I thought I was having a work from home job, but I ended up in Africa
Really?
teaching a master class in Creole cooking. I have my own radio show now. I'm a full-time chef at Vaucressan's Creole Cafe. Craw Babies is in the kitchen. I've done some amazing things though.
Yeah.
I've participated in so many amazing events and print interviews and on television, things that I didn't see at the time when I thought I was creating a work from home job. So I always tell people from my story, it's never too late
Yeah.
because I thought I would be in my obituary would be she was an accountant.
Right.
That my story didn't end there.
Well, you are
It did.
doing big things. I want to tell you, and I want to thank you for coming down to the radio show.
Of course.
today. And you brought back memories with me and my grandmother because one of our ongoing jokes with each other, she would always ask me, because from a little boy, I'm 41 now, right? But from a little boy, all over until about 8 years ago, she would always ask me, you know, "Are you gonna be able to do this when I'm not here?" Never did I think or know that she wouldn't be here one day. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And you know, I'm not gonna get into the full story, but when she passed, like I took over took over the house and did everything. And so I said, you know what? One day I'm gonna make a pot of red beans. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I said, you know what? Everything started coming back to me, like how she did it. So I literally, when I'm in the kitchen, I literally follow everything that she does. And my mom came over one day and she was like, hey, put me a container of beans on the side. So I said, okay, cool. Put them on the side. She came get them. And she said, if these don't come out right, I'm going to talk about you. So the next day, she was like, Ryan, she said, the beans taste exactly like grandma. And I said, well, I did exactly what she did. So from that point on, it was about a year later, I think, and it was around Thanksgiving. She said, hey, come over. I need you to be my taste tester to see if we can, get these recipes and everything exact like, grandma did them. And I was like, no, you need this. So we got it right. That's all. That's all.
But she instilled that in you for that moment.
Yes.
Literally, that's how you felt, right?
Yes.
And I know when, like you said, you got in the kitchen and you knew what to do. I can't. I always think about this. I don't think I've ever shared it with anybody, but this was a long time ago. Before I was still an accountant, I had no aspirations to be a chef.
Right.
I was young. I just got a divorce and I was living in Atlanta, so it was like really like okay in another city too. But trying to cook, I was like I wanted okra. I'll never forget this. I got all of the stuff. And I got in the kitchen and I was like, this day, I felt like my grandmother was in the kitchen with me. I always think about this day. I was like, the okra came out amazing. It's exactly like hers. But I remember this when I lived in Atlanta. I was like, my grandmother was in there. I could feel her like guiding me, like saying, no, that's too much pepper. Like to this day, though, I always hear my grandmother in the kitchen. I can hear her saying, no, you got to get the rest of that off of the chicken. It's not cleaned all the way. Like I said, those standards, those things they impressed upon us. Like I said, I can't buy this. My grandmother would die. Like I can remember my grandmother saying your food is not supposed to look at you. Things
Right.
like that. I'm glad though. They held us to this higher standard. That's why I think New Orleans is the food capital of the world. Because of those standards, because of those Creole snobs that look down and is like, oh no, this is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
So what was the most important lesson that you've learned since working with this diverse food scene that we have here in New Orleans?
The most important lesson that I've learned is to always, always stay authentic because slowly and gradually our culture is being undermined and being diminished and disappearing. I want to always be authentic. I want to always represent my culture and where I come from and my background and my grandmother's recipes and my aunt's recipes because I feel the reason people come to New Orleans is not for anything downtown in the quarter. You come for my grandmother gumbo, your grandmother red beans.
Yeah.
We set the tone for the reason New Orleans is the #1 food capital. But that's not reflected downtown. It's not reflected on TV. It's not reflected anywhere. So I want to always be authentic and always represent that and remind people so they don't forget who started this cuisine and food that you all love. Because gumbo is the blackest thing you could ever cook. It's directly from the motherland.
Yes.
Okra is an African word. Gumbo is an African word. So yeah, who created it? Us. But who's excluded from it? Us. But my goal now is to be authentic and never ever let them forget. That's where I stand. I would like to see more of us reflected in the billions of tourist dollars that come through this city.
Of
I would
course,
like to
man.
see us benefit from it.
Yeah. Of course. All,
And also,
we are
we
one
had
of
to
a
think
kind.
about this too, because I can't believe people aren't more vocal about this. Now that I'm a chef, I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry, I'm a preempt. It needs to be said, but we have people who can make or break a restaurant here in New Orleans. They can rate your gumbo. They're not even from here. They're from Connecticut. How can somebody from Connecticut have any take on what's the best gumbo? We need to think about that.
Well, that's like I don't know if you keep up with the social media influencer, Mr. Chime Time.
Yeah.
You know-
Yeah. I don't keep up with him, but I hear again, he's a dude sitting in his car. So
Right.
I mean, I always say I don't need the approval of anybody with the you know what my approval is? The people that come through the door every day to buy my food. That's the only approval that I need. Literally. He can't do anything for me because my locals, they know what a good gumbo is. They coming. He
Right.
can't tell nobody in New Orleans what's the best gumbo.
Right.
Literally.
It's
So
just his
we need
opinion.
to think about that.
It's just his opinion. Yeah. All right, man. This is Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Hit us up. Drop us a line. 504-582-9422. 504-582-9422. We have Chef Bunny Young in the building. She's a part of my extended family now.
That's
But
right.
she has been here on Conversations with Ryan Richardson.
Since 2024.
I want to talk about the Roo.
The
And
Roo.
how did you make the transition? Well, not really a transition. Well, I guess it is because you're in radio now.
Yeah, it's my first media job. But how it happened, I was going to Africa to do that master class. And I knew I was going, so I was like on my own little press tour that I created. I did WGNO, I did WWL. And of course, I had already been on every show here, just about at that point. So I reached out to Olive. I was like, well, who has a food and beverage show there? Because I would like to go on and tell them what I'm doing. I'm representing New Orleans. He was like, nobody. And it was like simultaneously the bells went off for both of us.
Right.
And I was like, and I created my show from there. I was like, that's a void. We have a void.
Right.
We need to know. I know how I viewed it. I know how the traction I got from doing everybody's show that I did here. I know I could pinpoint actual jobs that I got from appearing on different shows here.
Yeah.
So I know how I benefited from it. And I thought that, gosh, what was somebody with a business like mine, a smaller business, just starting out, who don't have the chances of Gambit come and beat down their doors, NOLA.com beating down their doors to do an interview or getting the word out about their business. I know they could benefit from it. So that's what it was all about. Food and beverage and businesses similar to mine that are off the beaten path that you probably wouldn't know were there, So I want to give them a platform, and this is it. So I always tell my friends or people in the industry, come sit in a chair and talk. This is the way people will find out about your business because they found out about mine from coming to WBOK. So I came here, I pitched it, and here I am. I got Thursdays at 12:30.
Shameless plug, huh?
Shameless plug. Never shameless. Look, full throttle. Yeah, but that's the story. That's how it happened, literally. And I tell people that the takeaway from that is don't wait for opportunities. Create your own.
You have to create your own. You have to create your own. When I started my show, I saw that there was a need for people like yourself, people like myself, to tell their stories. Because what I feel that radio has gotten away from is just letting the real average everyday Joes and Janes tell their stories. Just spread their message of whatever it may be, positivity, whatever it may be. And that is gone, And like you said, the gentrification of New Orleans is causing a lot of our cultural aspects to fade away. And we really don't have anything else besides.
Right. the thing about that, what gets me with that, where we are with that though, is that most of our residents, we kind of like walking around blind to it. That is being taken away every day, like or undermine our culture and things that are indigenous to us, things that are true to us. We were already wiped away with Katrina. You know, I don't do commemorative things for Katrina.
Right.
I would like I moved on, but we were already diminished with that. But now, like every day, even down to simple things. For instance, St. Bernard Avenue, the bike lane. I don't know if people are aware of this, but the guy that campaigned for us to have those bike lanes was a transplant. He went down to the council, kept raging, and got it, and then moved back to where he was from. And now, which was always 2 lanes in our life, is one. AP2 Road, London Avenue. I'm still hot about that. That is 1 lane. Now, what?
So we're going to put you on pause because we got to go to our second break, all right?
All right, go ahead.
Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. We got Chef Bunny in the building. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for the next burlesque sensation? Searching for some prime entertainment on a Sunday night? Well, come down to the Always Lounge as Scarlett Letta presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We're here every 3rd Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do every Monday. It's Movie Monday.
And Tuesday, it's Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Compassion Outreach of America is a nonprofit organization dedicated to fostering a safe, nurturing, and thriving environment for children and families in New Orleans. We have partnered with Fathers Matter, Kuzan's Barbecue, and Fathers on a Mission to bring you the 2nd annual King of the Yard Cook-Off Saturday, September 6th at NOLA Motorsports Park. The King of the Yard Cook-Off is a culinary competition that celebrates culture, connection, and community. Local cooking teams will come together to showcase their talent and share their passion for food. This year's event will feature a father and son cook-off aimed at strengthening family bonds and teamwork. Compassion Outreach of America is looking for sponsors. By sponsoring this event, you are helping to build a stronger, more connected community. We look forward to partnering with you to make this year's event a success. It's the 2nd annual King of the Yard Cook-Off Saturday, September 6th at NOLA Motorsports Park. Hope to see you guys there. For more information, go to CompassionOutreachOfAmerica.org.
Ron Richardson here. If you are like me, that means you love the feeling of getting a fresh haircut and shave. If you do, then you should check out my friends Eddie and Dana Bunch at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, specializing in hairstyles for men, women, and children. If you want to make a good first impression, you should check out First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero or call 504-341-6777. Remember, it's never too late to make that first impression at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon.
New Orleans, you want to know what we're talking about? Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on WBOK for Conversations with Ron Richardson. The topics will always be hot and the conversation will be all the way live. Meet us there. We'll save you a seat. We can also talk about you and your business as a sponsor of Conversations with Ron Richardson. Contact Ron at 504-874-4584 or email him at richardsonronald024@gmail.com for more details.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
WBOK, online at WBOK1230.com.
Thanks for listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK, and listen online at WBOK1230.com. Now, back to Ron.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. Remember, guys, you can find me on Facebook. Just search for the Ron Rich Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. And I am back with Miss Bunny Young. How you doing?
I'm great.
All right.
This has been a really great morning.
All right. I'm glad I can make that happen for you. All right. So you asked and I delivered. We have some callers, some people that want to talk to you. All right.
Okay, great.
All right. We have Miss Angela on the line. Angela, how are you?
Good morning. I am well. How are you all this morning?
Good morning, Miss Angela.
Good. Listen, I am enjoying this show. I really am. Let me say this. I did not know you had, or if you have a talk show that comes on Thursdays. But during the week, when I'm driving in from work, there used to have this guy, Tom Morris, and Ryan corrected me. He would have a talk show, and he would find Fitzmaurice. Yes, thank you. And he would, do the reviews of the different restaurants in the French Quarters and throughout the city. And me wanting to try these different places, I would go to majority of them, the ones that he would recommend. And I would be so disappointed because when I would get there, I'm like, what is this? I would literally sit there with the food and like, what is this? This is horrible. So you made a great point. When people come to New Orleans, they're not looking to go into the French Quarters for that type of food. We want to go into the neighborhoods. We want to taste your grandmother's gumbo, your grandmother's red beans, not Mother's, not all those other commercialized places. So it would be great if you could do something of, on that magnitude with the restaurants in the city, the soul food restaurants, the local ones, not the ones that are commercialized, but the ones that get no recognition, like Food Symphony, in Marrero, which have some beautiful.
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her.
She made some great points.
All right. So, Angela, if you can hear
Tom Fitzmaurice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Tom Fitzmaurice, God bless his soul, he recently passed. He,
Yes.
I think he's just from the old school. He really was an old school critic. I didn't have too much disagreement with him, but I think, and for us, we've never had someone. When I first started my show, I realized I was the first Black person, and let alone woman, to do what I was doing as far as a podcast and radio show geared towards food and beverage. Again, I need you to think about it this way. We're responsible for this cuisine, but we don't have a voice in it. So that was my goal with this, to be that voice, to tell you that I'm here cooking, that Lil Dizzy's is open, that Chapter 4 is open, that Loretta's is open, because you wouldn't know. Gambit's not running to interview us.
Right.
NOLA.com isn't running to interview us.
I want to ask you something, Bunny. Why do you think that is?
You know why.
Well, say it.
You know why it is. Because, again, the billions of tourist dollars that come through this city for the food, where do they go? Downtown. We're priced out of downtown, and that's not a coincidence. We're responsible for this food, and it's arguably better. But why aren't we where the tourists can access it readily? It's about $1. It's economical, in my opinion, but that has to change. It has to change because right now there are literally, I think, last count I had was 5 Black-owned restaurants in that area, in the tourist area where you stand to make the most revenue. That's just a fact. That's just what it is by proximity. You're there where they are, and this is a pedestrian city. If you go and book a hotel downtown, you primarily want to wander downtown, But now I'm glad there is a push for people to jump in Ubers and go off the beaten path to places like me, to Dizzy's. They take Ubers now. But again, we're priced out of that area, and that's by design. That's not a coincidence.
Exactly. And chances are they won't go too far from Lil Dizzy's. And here's another thing. We create and they take from us. And I'm going to give you a perfectly good example. Stuffed eggs. I went to a restaurant, and they had that on there as appetizers.
Oh,
and
yes,
I think
ma'am.
It was like
it's hoity-toity now. Stuffed eggs.
Stuffed eggs. You hear me?
You're right.
I could
Look,
not
it's hoity
believe
toity,
it.
and they charging like $12 for 3 stuffed eggs. I'm like, are
Yes.
you kidding me? It was at every baby shower you went to in New Orleans. If you're from New Orleans,
Stuffed
it's at every
eggs.
party. A stuffed
every
egg.
party.
Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Every party, who bringing the stuffed eggs? We already knew who was bringing the stuffed
Right,
eggs.
that was my job. That was when I first started cooking. I was the stuffed egg
And
maker.
now that's
My aunt still teases me about that. You're right about that. But that's just what it is. Once a certain audience gets it, it becomes gentrified. It's just like okra. I always tell people this. If my grandmother wasn't dead, she would die again because I would walk to Circle Food Store 3 and 4 times a day for my grandmother. And okra was 19 cents a pound. You couldn't give it away, literally. Now it's $8.99 a pound when it's discovered or by others. Yeah.
By others.
Yes.
They're
Because
taking
everybody's eating okra and discovered it. We've been eating it forever. It was 19 cents a pound, literally. Yeah. And now,
And also,
so food can be gentrified too.
Wow.
You're absolutely right. And what's the name of that pork restaurant downtown? I forget the name of the place. Cochons. We went there years ago when they first opened. They served us pork skewers with maple syrup. I said, you got to be kidding me. It was so expensive. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I said, you see how they make our food that we eat on a day-to-day basis, an appetizer or, something they're going to, like you said, price us out of. And even greens.
All right. So you know what, Miss Angela, thank you for your call, but we out of time, all right?
Okay, y'all
Thank
have
you,
a
Miss
blessed
Angela.
one.
We appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, my girl Bunny. Any positive words of encouragement before we close? As we close, I should say.
Keep on keeping on. That's it. The struggle continues every day. You got to move. That's all you can do is move. Get up and move. Nothing is happening if you're not moving.
All right, man. This has been Conversations with Ryan Richardson. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it.
you.
Anytime.
And we will talk about me coming on your show, right?
Absolutely. I can't wait. 'Cause that's the concept. I absolutely want to do a show around it.
All right, man. I'll see you guys same time, same place next week. This has been Conversations with Ryan Richardson. Peace and love. Love you, New Orleans. Talk to you next week.